Ethan, welcome to the podcast, man. I'm excited to have you here and chat about what you got going on.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so Palm Harbor Pelicans, new soccer club in Palm Harbor. I thought it was pretty cool. Like once you reached out and I saw the Instagram and stuff, that it was like, oh, Palm Harbor has like a soccer club, like official soccer club. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So tell us about that. Tell us about what you're doing.
Yeah. So the Palm Harbor Pelicans, obviously right now we're an amateur soccer team here based right out of Palm Harbor. We've just partnered with Players Sports Academy. So they're our business partner and they're interconnected with 17 Pinellas County schools here in the area. So obviously an amateur team, yes. We are connected with obviously the youth soccer community as well. So we'll be doing camps, clinics, obviously in partnership with PSA as well. So very, very excited for what we have here in Pinellas County.
Yeah. What is PSA?
So PSA, the Player Sports Academy. So the owner Brian Hirsch, obviously, I got connected with him through another friend. So what he has put together is an after school, like a YMCA after school program.
Okay.
But some of it, the way he does things, the reason he does it is fantastic, and which is why I partnered with him. That was the main reason. His mission statement and what he wanted for the community, that was number one reason for me. So what he does is in the youth community after school program, soccer, flag football, multiple sports. Obviously, so he played professionally soccer, so he loves the game.
Okay.
But you know, having that impact where we can have these youth kids also work with us. But like I said, it's a simple after school program that he does camps. He has coaches within the community. Palm Harbor High School, he has some students working with him as well. But he's in 3 different states now, so he's a little
Okay.
bit bigger than what the Palm Harbor Pelicans are. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And so Palm Harbor Pelicans, like we were talking about before,
Mhm.
is 18 and up
18 and
soccer
up.
club.
Yeah,
Okay.
so right now we're 18 and up within our amateur team. We're playing in the Florida Suncoast Soccer League. So Tampa area, I know there's a few games in Brandon, some in Sarasota as well. But we'll have home games right behind Carwise Middle School. PSA has obviously, that's their field. So we're obviously in partnership. We're using their field as well. So our games will start the 3rd week of September officially. We'll have some preseason games as well, obviously just to take off, make sure the guys are ready to play.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we start September, 18 plus league, but we'll be working with youth camps as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I know this is your first year, like you haven't even played a game or I don't know if you practiced yet, but
Nope.
um what's the goal like beyond this year to expand Palm Harbor Pelicans and what you have going on with
Yeah,
that?
no, that's awesome. So we've been in talks with UPSL, United Premier Soccer League. So obviously they are considered 4th division in the US. So that's considered semi-pro. So obviously I played semi-pro with the Clearwater Chargers. Did that for about 2 years and then unfortunately tore my ACL. But I wanted to provide another pathway for kids. Obviously they can see that, hey, I can play semi-pro here out of Palm Harbor. So like I said, 4th division in the US. Obviously establishing ourselves within the youth community, getting them involved with the Palm Harbor Pelicans. I think that right now is our long-term plan to
Hmm.
get involved into that side of things. Because right now we're just considered amateur. Obviously doing some camps here and there with some local kids and
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So long term, like expanding into the youth and getting them involved and
Semi-pro.
yeah,
That's
semi-pro. Okay.
yes.
Um, let's go back to like your start into soccer.
Yeah.
How long have you been playing soccer?
Since I could walk. Since I
Yeah.
could walk, man.
Yeah.
So
Did you play any other sports growing up or that was it?
play a little bit of baseball. Wasn't a
Okay.
baseball player.
Okay.
Very good with my feet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a little bit of baseball, a little bit of basketball. Like how my parents always just wanted me involved. But my mom is from Brazil. My dad is from Germany. So
Okay.
soccer is a big part of their culture and their life. So it was kind of evident that I was going to be obviously partaking in playing soccer for
Yeah.
my life.
Yeah.
So fell in love with it. Did the YMCA after school programs. Obviously, I still remember it. There's a picture in the newspaper I still have
Oh
of
yeah.
me running around with a little soccer ball. So that made a big impact in my life. So obviously PSA having that impact,
Cool.
I want to do the same thing, giving back to the community. But going back to my obviously, personal career, I played at West Florida Flames here over in Eastlake for a little bit. Went over to the Tampa Bay United Rowdies. They obviously the Rowdies were at one point in time with Tampa Bay United. I'm not sure exactly what their partnership is now. Won a state championship Played for East Lake High School as well. Played for the Clearwater Chargers UPSL semi-pro, 4 years of college soccer. And then obviously tearing my ACL, taking a little bit of a different direction, now
Yeah.
coaching at Weber International University and obviously having this startup here in Palm Harbor. So a little bit of background,
Yeah.
soccer's been my life though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You love it. What do you love about soccer?
Honestly, it gives me joy. But now that I've continued obviously to grow into the coaching side, the
Yeah.
fact that this game can bring in so many different players, so many different kids, it doesn't like I just did a youth camp for Calvary Christian High School. I just got out of it. I'm a little burnt.
Yeah.
But doing that and being able to see some kids that, they're involved. Okay, yes, they're involved with Calvary Christian, the school, obviously the church itself, but then having the ability to come out there and be, share my gift of what I have to then now these kids and just socially building inclusiveness within the environment. It's just a fantastic thing to be able to share. I think this is my God-given gift. I played, my time done is done playing. I, tore my ACL. Yes, I'm recovered from it. Yes, I'm playing myself for fun, but being able to do a little bit more than just look at the money aspect of things and giving back to this community that I grew up in, I mean,
You love
it's
that.
love
Yeah.
it, love
Where
it.
does that come from? Like giving back.
Giving back.
Yeah,
Um,
and just like really like the coaching aspect, like your mindset around coaching and just being able to help others
yeah.
like grow and
I
find love in
would
this.
I would definitely say so. Giving back, I've went back and forth from Brazil quite a few times. My family lives there. I'm
Mm,
going back in December as well.
okay.
Same thing in Germany. So being able to see, how they facilitate things in their areas, being able to see some kids that might not be able to afford, some maybe what people might call higher level soccer. It's nice to be able to, that's for PSA. Just throwing it back out there, the mission statement for them when I talked to his name is Brian Hirsch.
Mhm.
When I spoke with him in regards to the fact of why he does what he does it for the kids to build, like I said, inclusiveness within this environment. It's not for the money for him.
Yeah.
Yes, does he make a little bit of money?
Yeah.
100% because he needs to obviously,
Right.
make a living, right?
Yeah.
But he doesn't do it for that reason. He could charge way more, but he doesn't because his why. He goes back to his why.
Mhm.
So like I said, I think him and our values align so well, which is why I decided to have him as a business partner and same for
Mhm.
him.
Yeah.
That's hopefully that answers that
So
question.
seeing yeah, like so seeing other kids like different cultures and stuff just
Yeah,
I think it's what like traveling does to you, right? Whether you're traveling for a family or whatever, but just like you get a different perspective on life.
100%,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I like that. Um, what is what is it that make what do you think in your opinion like makes a good coach?
What makes a good that's a fantastic question. There's a lot of coaches from what I've learned obviously early in my career. I'm, maybe 4 years now coaching at actual, high school, college now, second year going into my college career. Coaching is being able to create that personal relationship with that player and really get them bought in as to what you want to do, yes, but also develop them in so many different ways than just on the field. So obviously, soccer, yes, there's so many things that X's and O's, right? I can
Yeah.
say, we want to play a 3-5-2, we want to play 4-3-3. Yes, I can coach you in how I want you to play and systematically, right? But for me, like for example, at the college realm, we have these girls coming in for I coach on the women's side. We have them coming in for 4 years, fantastic, but they develop so much more than just on the field. Yes, physically, athletically, 100%. We, for us, academics, the social life, making sure, is this the career you want to get into? Hey, is there something happening in your personal life that maybe we can help just sit down and have a conversation with? So
Mhm.
there's a lot of kids that, college, high school, middle school, it doesn't matter what age. Sometimes soccer is just an outlet for them. So
Yeah.
being able to be more than just a coach sometimes,
Mm.
it's, you know, like I said, it's a God-given gift that,
Yeah, so it goes beyond the X's and those,
yes, it
right?
does.
Yeah, where do you think that skill set comes from you? Is that something you've developed or something, since your injury, you're like, okay, maybe this is my path and like let me do some work on coaching and
Yeah.
mindset, whatever it is.
Yeah. So I think a lot of development came. So I just a little bit more of a background here. I used to work for the Florida Youth Soccer Association based out of Auburndale. I worked for the U.S. Olympic Development Program. So we had a lot of kids coming in and out. I dealt with a lot of obviously parents, is setting sites for tryouts, for trainings, dealing with the kids obviously on site, making sure they have everything that's required. throughout the trial process, pool training, state team, etc. All that good stuff that comes with it. I think that job has taught me a lot
Yeah.
in regards to, what do I necessarily need to do. Obviously, I do think some of the skills were just, it came from just me being myself.
Yeah.
I like to think I'm a very personable person. So I think obviously being very analytical and just observing has been huge for me. Whether it's, coaching a training session, a game, listening to people talk in the professional side, obviously meeting some people that work for US Soccer, work for obviously a higher or, state associations, regionally as well. So listening, observing, I think that's where the skill set really came in.
Mm. Yeah, I like that. I like the listening aspect, right? I don't
Yeah.
think a lot of people do that enough.
Actively, truly listening?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Is that something you've been how long have you been aware of that? Like of like, okay, I need to listen, I need to pay attention, I need to learn from these people.
Recent,
Yeah.
because honestly, I used to be in a position where I was like, maybe I know the right way, maybe I don't need to listen,
Yeah.
I think after this past year at the collegiate level, just recently, this is not, this is me sitting down here, me starting up this Palm Harbor Pelicans thing is completely this team is completely, brand new. So I have never built a business or a team or an organization straight from scratch. So me, listening to some mentors, some other people that are part of the soccer realm in a higher, capacity, me truly listening to them and getting an understanding as to, what is the next step?
Mhm.
What is it that I should do? Because they've went through it, they've done it. I'm just a newbie. I'm just
Yeah.
getting involved in this. So I'm obviously, listening and getting feedback. That's
Yeah.
where I'm at right now.
I like that. And being humble enough to
100%.
accept the direction. What goes into starting a soccer club?
That's a fantastic
Yeah.
question. So I actually had a phone call. There was a guy from North Carolina. I won't say his name. North Carolina. He's starting a club as well. So he's
Okay.
like, Ethan, how did you get all these sponsors? How,
Yeah.
where did this come from? You guys are just 1 second later, I see you guys, you guys have 50 followers, and now all of a sudden you guys have a whole youth backing. Like, what's going on here? So I will say, obviously being in this soccer realm, it's helped.
Mhm.
Networking and obviously the expansion, it's helped tremendously. Networking is 100% what's gotten me to this point. Um, starting the youth or starting this team from scratch. You know, what happened was there was obviously, Tampa Bay club sport.
Yeah.
There's a whole, some of my friends, they were playing in this tournament or league.
Okay.
They weren't, too much of, big fans of it. They had a great time, but they wanted to be part of something that was just dedicated specifically to soccer.
Sure.
So obviously we created this team, but the team came from really, I s- selling myself, selling my background. Obviously, I'm getting my master's in business, MBA. I'm just
Okay.
finishing it up. So
Okay.
actually had
Nice.
an exam yesterday.
Nice. So you're busy.
I'm very busy. I'm an assistant coach at Calvary Christian. I'm doing my MBA. I'm a college coach, and now I have the Palm Harbor Pelicans.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
obviously very, very busy, but like I said, selling myself as to what my vision is. What do I want to do in this community? So obviously we have Fran Hash, who's one of our big sponsors, PSA, Player Sports Academy, a big sponsor, but also a business partner.
Mhm.
We have Ozona Blue. We have our first meeting coming up next week with all the guys. So we're just
Cool.
finishing up paperwork, obviously getting registered, player registrations. So with Ozona Blue, finishing that up there. Nona Slice House, based out of Safety Harbor.
Yeah.
And then we also have a family that was able to obviously give a very charitable donation to us as well. So,
Cool.
like I said, based in the community in this Pinellas County area.
Yeah.
That's how it kind of started. Because funding is a big thing for us. Because for me, like I said, I don't do it for the money. I want the guys playing on this team paying very, very little to be able to participate. So yes, there is a little small player registration fee that will help with other fees, referee fees, game fee. There's a bunch of things that go into it.
Yeah.
Funding, being able to sell yourself.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah. What goes do you know how much, like, maybe you don't know this yet, but, like, how much it costs to play one game? Like, is there you pay to join this league, or, like, how
Yeah,
does that
so
work?
there's a registration fee. So we just finished it, so
Okay.
obviously it's
Yeah.
fresh in the mind.
Yeah.
So it was $600 registration fee. There's a $300 bond. It's a performance bond that we had to obviously pay as well. We get that credited back to us. But since we're a first year team, we have it, and pretty much it says don't forfeit a game. Do not
I
obviously,
see, I
yeah.
see, I
So
see.
as long as you participate in every game, you get that, and we can use that $300 for next season.
Yeah.
It's not too expensive to play in this amateur league. Now UPSL is a little bit different. Obviously, it's a little bit more pricier. For us, referee fees are $120 a game.
Okay.
So $120 from us, $120 from the away team, or vice versa. So 240 for the total. It's an affordable price, especially with the sponsors that we have. So, like I said, the Florida Suncoast League, soccer league has been very, very. We've collaborated very, very well.
Mhm.
Um, it's worked out. Yeah, I think that answers your question.
Yeah, and then, I mean, on top of that, those fees, you have, like, uniforms and that sort of stuff,
Uniforms,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
So it was the Tampa Bay Kickers. They got us in touch with this Chinese manufacturer. So this jersey here.
Yeah.
Obviously you have my initials here. This is obviously our logo, and then it's Fun Rio. So I've never heard of it previously, but obviously the cost is a lot more. It's cost efficient for us, and it, like I said, first year team.
Yeah.
We're obviously doing things, like I said, we don't want the players paying too much. Could have completely changed that and said, "Hey, I need you to pay this certain amount because we want to buy Nike gear. We want to buy Adidas gear."
Right.
So this was an alternate option, obviously. So each player will get their training top. They'll be able to keep it after the season. The jerseys, obviously, those we'll keep those. We'll reuse them for next year as well,
Sure.
as long as obviously the sponsors. We have not on this, but on our jerseys, we'll have Nona, Ozona Blue,
Sure.
Fran Hash, and then PSA.
Okay.
So
Cool.
yeah,
Yeah, so it's like you gotta there's a lot into starting this, and
yeah.
you're coaching too, right? So not only coaching the club, but also, like, running it, managing it, like, the business side of it, like, there's a lot.
There's a lot, a lot of fundraising, a
Yeah.
lot of, obviously, we're gonna be working with Tidal Wave. It's based out of Oldsmar here. They have so many different
Oh,
locations.
the, car wash?
Car wash,
Okay.
yeah. So
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
doing a little thing with them as well. But
Cool.
anything that we can get from the community, obviously little charitable donations or sponsorships, even. We're doing social media sponsorships. We're doing obviously physical sponsorships. We have opportunities where we can put banners on the fencing around the school, as well, because that property for us right now is we're able to use it since we're business partners with PSA. So
Okay.
obviously working with them, there's so many different opportunities where yes, we're benefiting from this. We're able to create this team, like I said, the inclusivity, building this environment for the youth, but also to benefit others. We're working with Cooper's Performance based out of Tampa. They're coming to do the first 30-minute segment in our training session. We have them doing some testing for our guys.
Cool.
So 40-yard dash, a vertical jump, all these things, right? It's just a little bit of a benefit, but it also helps them. It gets their name out there since we're growing, they're growing.
Mhm.
We're working with Valadosa. Valadosa is also a really big sponsor. They're working with us in regards to getting the training balls and also match balls. So
Okay.
they're based out of Miami. Harrison and Noah have been fantastic to work with. They both played in the college game. A few of my friends actually know
Yeah.
them. So like I said, it's more than just us. It's
Where all these connections that you have, where have you gotten those from? Has that just been, like, throughout your career you've just made and been introduced to people, or
So PSA, it came obviously. So my friend and obviously colleague is Sean Francis.
Yeah.
He's helped in regards to Brian Hirsch. He actually coached at Palm Harbor University High School.
Okay.
So connection there was one. He
Mhm.
started PSA, fantastic. Now we're business partners. Fran Hash, she's a family friend.
Okay. Yeah.
So obviously, having that connection, she obviously supports our mission, which is why she believes in what we have here,
Mhm.
believes in what I have.
Mhm.
So her, Ozona Blue, a few of my friends work there. Nona Sias House, a few of my friends work there.
Yeah. Okay.
Obviously, yes, I had a conversation with both owners, or manager at Nona. But they obviously bought into what I had. I sold myself. I sold obviously
Yeah.
what we want to bring here in this area, and they love it. So Valadosa, same thing. They work with some of the other Suncoast teams. So I reached out, hey, we're a brand new team here in Palm Harbor area. This is our mission. This is why I do what I do.
Mhm.
Fantastic. Let's get this going. So
Yeah.
we're working with Essential Laboratories. So Essential Labs is Sean Francis had a connection. They are protein powders. They are
Okay.
different
Oh,
things,
yeah.
more nutritional.
Yeah.
But we have obviously a promotional code that, hey, you use Pelicans and you get 10% off.
Right. Right.
So we're working with them as well. So like I said, it's all about the network of who which is why it's helped in taking this whole
Yeah. And I think that's like you mentioned it earlier, your network and stuff. Like that's a big part of anything, even just networking for a
Yeah,
job or right.
100%. Mhm.
I think it can help you out in so many aspects of
Yeah,
life. Just like really nurturing those relationships that you have
yeah.
and then have built. So we talked about like what makes a good coach, what makes a good player.
Makes a good player. Okay. So I played I was a center back or a 6, so a center defensive midfielder. So I
Okay.
was more towards for people that maybe don't watch soccer, right? I didn't want the ball to go into the goal.
Okay.
So I think, obviously a good player, you can reflect and say, oh, Messi's a good player. Ronaldo's a good player. There's so many different attributes what make a good player in different positional roles. I think a good player is one that has an understanding of the game. There's more to it than just the physical side of it. Mentally, are you, engaged in the game 24/7 or 90 minutes, 24/7? Are you studying the game? Are you
Hmm.
studying your
Hmm.
role? What should you do when you're off the ball, on the ball? Um, that's a very broad question.
Yeah.
I hope that answers a little bit, of, what you're trying to look for.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
much studying goes into playing soccer now? Like, you
Oh,
know,
yeah. I mean,
are
for
you
us,
watching tape or like what are you doing to
yeah.
study?
So
Yeah.
I guess, youth. So we'll talk about youth development, and then
Yeah.
we'll talk about more in the college side.
Okay.
So youth development, right? For me, having them have the ability to have fun. The reason why so many kids leave the game of soccer is because they don't enjoy it anymore.
Yeah.
So being able to create a fun environment, number one, beyond anything else that comes with it, number one, they're not having fun, they're not coming,
Yeah.
right? The parents aren't putting them there.
Right.
So
Right.
having fun, the technical and the dribbling side. So getting them to master the ball. Can you dribble with your left foot? Can you dribble with your right foot? God gave you 2 feet. Can you use both feet?
Mhm.
Little things like that on the youth side, and then obviously developing, US soccer has obviously a framework for those things, the technical side, the physical side, the mental side, psychologically, where are you? And then obviously in the college game, it's a little bit different. In the college game, we're going out to recruit you, transfers coming in, freshmen coming in, or even sophomores and senior, or we've had a few seniors coming in for our last year. Hey,
Okay.
it
Okay.
makes sense for them,
Yeah.
or graduate students too. So,
Yeah.
obviously, at that point, you should be able to pass a
Have
ball.
those skill
You
sets.
should be
Yeah.
able to, otherwise, you're not playing at that level,
Yeah.
right? So at that point, it's more of the tactical side of, having them bought in and believing as to what you want systematically too. So, we might play a 4-4-2, but then we might have a diamond in the middle and be very compact in the middle. We might have there's a high line of confrontation, a mid line, a low block, right? There's different things. But the tactical side becomes really, really big. So like I said, understanding your positional role, 100%. Being able to play with the people around you, 100%. Especially, can you, are you good with that player socially on and off the field?
Yeah.
Do you have that chemistry with them? All those relationships, whether it is for networking, for on the field, for off the field, it's just soccer teaches more than just the game.
Mm.
Soccer teaches everything around you. It's taught
Yeah.
me how to interact with people. It's taught me how I should treat people. So it's just steered
Yeah.
away a little bit, but
Yeah. No, I love that. I
yeah,
think teams. So I grew up playing baseball, and I think you get a lot of that from team sports, right? Just
yeah,
there's so much you can learn about life,
yeah,
like growing up playing a sport,
yeah.
a team sport like that.